So there it is. This is, I'm pretty sure, the maximum possible damage that minion builds could possibly do, and it is achieved using the powered Zealot Spectre. I don't think any Spectre or minion in the game comes even remotely close to what these guys can do from my very extensive testing, as I will be showcasing a lot of minions that I've captured that may not be that good, but they certainly look really cool. And I think they're worth showcasing, so I'll be doing that. Before that though, let's get into the build. So, this is the scepter. I actually recrafted the scepter that I made yesterday. Why? Because there was a patch, and the patch, unfortunately, completely nuked one of the spectres that I will be showing you at the very end of the video, mostly because I wasn't able to get any good clips of it since the patch came literally less than an hour after I made the scepter, so I had pretty much no time to work with it. Unfortunate, but it is what it is. So yeah, this is the scepter now. It's the same mods, except instead of minion life, it has minion crit damage. And yeah, as for the rest of the gear, it's the same. +3 minion skill helmet, along with 20% reservation. We've got quality of skills, minion skills, as well as lot of life, because life means spirit, because of Prism Guardian, which is quite a lot of spirit. It was suggested to me to use a +2 minion focus. After using it quite a bit, I do not think it's better than the Prism Guardian, but it is close. So it's definitely cheaper as well, that's something to consider. Darkness Enthroned, reservation efficiency, of course. A lot of the gear swaps I did since the last build showcase did come from commenters, particularly things such as the Ever-Grasping Ring. The minion helmet also was the case, as I was previously using Veil of Night to get more spirit. I did keep the Conjurer Mantle, as there's not really anything that really competes with it in the chest piece slot. There is a bit of a consideration for a Tabula, although in my opinion it's not actually better. The gloves, they don't really matter that much, it's just health. And yeah, honestly these gloves are just a pile of health, that's all they're really meant to be. The boots, I did find a 37% pair, that was thankfully not costing me a mirror, so I did buy it and I'm using it now. Now, when it comes to jewels and the tree, this is what it looks like. Some pretty important nodes are the Right Hand of Darkness, as we are using the Ever-Grasping Ring, which gives the minions a lot of damage as Chaos, meaning that Chaos is gonna be almost their primary form of damage. So the Wither effect really helps in making them do more damage. I did decide that the Adorned is the best way to scale minion damage. So I am using these minion deal increased damage, as well as minion have cast speed and attack speed jewels that are corrupted and blue, pretty much everywhere in the tree. The Megalomaniac I am using is Cunning Fox and Gigantic Following. Cunning Fox is pretty much mandatory for this build, since Spectre damage scales with quality. Every point of quality is 1% damage, and it's also multiplicative, so it's just the best way to scale damage. That's also why Dialis Desire is so good. And Gigantic Following, it's not hard to path to, it's just a lot of points, so it does just save me a lot of points, more or less. I do have a few other Megalomaniacs. I'm using this Warlord Berserker and Leader, and then giving my Amulet Cunning Fox if I'm using a physical Spectre, since this way I can put some points into here to get Blood of Rage, to give all my minions Rage if I want them to have Rage. However, that was not really done in most of the video. It was done in a few of the clips, obviously, the ones where I use physical attackers like the Reavers, the Ants, etc. But for most of this, I've been sticking on the caster setup with cast speed runes. Obviously, the +3 Summon Spectre Prism, not really any reason not to have this, so I did also use the +3 River, Sniper and Mage prisms when I was testing those, so yeah. So let's talk about the gems that I'm using inside the Spectre. The Allah's Desire, obviously pretty much mandatory for any Spectre that you try to focus on, since 10% reservation as well as quality, as well as +1 level. Nothing really compares with this, pretty much. There's also Muster. I am filling out my slots with these little minions over here to boost the damage of Muster. Fading Frenzy. Some of them have Wild Shards, some of them have Last Gasp or Tech Rods, some of them have Rapid Casting, some of them have Pierce. And yeah. For the Zealot specifically, I did use Pierce and Wild Shards. So Rakiata's Flow is a really important gem for this, particularly because a lot of the Spectres do purely elemental damage, and Arbiter has capped resistance for every single resistance, so inverting it makes it very, very powerful. As well as, I'm playing Infernalist, so I do have Seething Body, that's why you see me always being on high Infernal Flame. This gives all allies in my presence 50% of damage as fire. As you can see, when I go on high Infernal Flame, these guys will have a lot of fire damage, despite not having any of their own by default. And Rakiata's Flow will contribute into magnifying that fire damage. So I'm using it for pretty much every Spectre I equipped as my main focus. The offerings, pretty standard, just increased effect, +1 skill means more effect. Duration, I did put this here to make it tankier, but doesn't really matter. The bone offering is mostly here just to enable Lust for Sacrifice. And I did actually use Flame Wall for most of the casters, since Flame Wall actually amplifies the minions' projectiles. Since they pass through the wall, they do added fire damage, which is very powerful, and in my opinion, it seems to be significantly stronger than just adding one more minion to boost Muster a little bit more. So, Flame Wall, pretty sleeper, I think it's very good for this setup, and yeah. And yeah, that's really about it. I do hope you enjoy the rest of the clips as I let them play out, since hunting these Spectres took me so long, and most of them were terrible, but they did look really, really cool.
I know this pretty girl, always think about her. When she says hi to me, butterflies go right through me. And when I see her dancing, wanna take a chance in getting a little closer and maybe get to know her. I know this pretty girl, always think about her. When she says hi to me, butterflies go right through me. And when I see her dancing, wanna take a chance in getting a little closer. I know this pretty girl, always think about her. When she says hi to me, butterflies go right through me. And when I see her dancing, wanna take a chance in getting a little closer and maybe get to know her. I know this pretty girl, always think about her. When she says hi to me, butterflies go right through me. And when I see her dancing, wanna take a chance in getting a little closer and maybe get to know her. I know this pretty girl, I wanna find a girl like you, 'cause you're the girl for me, it's true. When I dream of you, and everything that we can do. You're on my mind all day and night, my feelings grow stronger with time. Know my heart beats just for you, I only hope you feel it too. I know this pretty girl, always think about her. When she says hi to me, butterflies going through me. And when I see her dancing, wanna take a chance in getting a little closer and maybe get to know her. I know this pretty girl, always think about her. When she says hi to me, butterflies going through me. And when I see her dancing, wanna take a chance in getting a little closer.
hell? My minions are dead. I don't get it. What? This is so shit. What is the damage? What is going on?